I'm Joyce Hornady. You might say accuracy is my business. I make bullets.
You are listening to the Hornady Podcast.
Thanks for joining us and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Hornady Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Swerczek, and today I've got across the table engineering guy Joe Thielen. Joe, thanks for coming on the show.
Man, good to be here, Seth.
Now, admittedly, there was a bit of a scramble going on today. Behind the scenes, listener won't know this, but we needed an episode. We've got a huge whiteboard of episodes, like a 2-foot by 3-foot whiteboard of episodes to record. Now, we know what you, the listener, want to hear. We know it. We know what that is. The unfortunate part is to do those episodes that are external ballistics, internal ballistics, deep dives. It takes certain people around the table, and it takes certain data. Now, we've got some stuff like the next episode of our Make Reloading Great Again series is priming. We've got some data. Now, it's been shot. Now we have to sort through it and organize it and reduce it all. So there's a lot of stuff like that where we want to get to these more technical episodes, but, man, coming out of trade show season, it's just been a whirlwind. The weather's nice. We're running radar outside.
That's what they're doing today.
Exactly.
Like today, that's where the guys are.
Yep. So a Horror Ballistics team is out running radar, and we want to do a more technical episode because we've had some in the last few weeks here, more story pieces and several guests on the show, which are fun to do, but we know that the listener really likes this hardcore technical stuff. So just know that we've got a few of those in the hopper, and then we'll get to them as soon as we possibly can. So in the scramble that happened about 57 minutes ago, we had to come up with something, and we're always talking hunting. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is. It is March right now, and we're still talking the fall. And so we thought, what better time than to do a new rifle build? Now, the rifle builds that we do, they're all a little bit different. Some of them very, very similar. This one kind of unique in what it is, how it was put together, when it was put together. But it is a purpose-built ultralight rifle, Joe. So without further ado, let's jump into first, what is it chambered in? And I want to talk briefly, and we'll get into why, about what year you built this thing, and just talk about why you built this rifle chambered in what it is, and then we'll start getting into
it. Yeah. So this is a 6.5 PRC, the 6.5 precision rifle cartridge. And I built this rifle literally right after the 6.5 PRC came out.
Yeah, 2018?
Yeah, we had the 143s. It might have been 17, it was 17, 18 right there because I killed a deer with it in 18.
Okay.
But I built it right away because from a performance versus weight trade-off, the 6.5 PRC is awesome, as you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you've shot a 6.5 284, I'm guessing, for years.
Yeah, we shot that in matches and then 6.5 creeds and stuff.
Yeah, so you know the performance you can get of a hot rod 6.5.
Yes, and now you just build yourself a PRC so you can push it a little faster, and therefore that bullet retains the velocity further downrange and it'll expand and do all the things that we've talked about on the podcast. So that was the intent of this rifle, was to build a lightweight mountain rifle. That's
okay.
Plain and simple what it was. That had a lot of reach to it.
Yeah, plenty of reach. And the 6.5, gosh, if you were anything in Nebraska, most anything in our surrounding states, outside the dangerous game, I mean, if you ever were to get that mountain goat tag or something like that, this would be a perfect build.
Oh, it's perfect. Alpine deer, sheep, goats, antelope. It's a joy to carry around. It's a pleasure to shoot. Actually,
you know what it weighs?
I want to tell you it's like 8.67 or 8.72 or something like that. It's right. It's just a short 9 pounds.
Yeah.
Fully decked out.
So just over 8.5 pounds with the bipod, the magazine, the scope, ready to roll.
Yep.
And that is pretty darn light when you consider its effectiveness. There's those ultralight rifles that get into the 5-6 pound range, and their barrels are paper.
Yep.
And yes, they are ultralight, but I think when you look at the capability of that system, which is repeatedly putting rounds on target at extended ranges every single shot, and if you have to shoot 2, 3, 4 shots, you're not heating those tiny barrels up, and you can manage the recoil spot your shots, watch the impacts.
Yep. All of those things. You can see you'll probably
Well,
make fun of
get
me.
there, but
That's what it is.
Wonderful rifle, certainly capable. Obviously, the 6.5 PRC, tons of merit to go with that cartridge. Now, I mentioned the 6.5 284, Joe, because we've talked about it a ton, but everybody still gets crazy about it. Like, the 6.5 PRC was not designed to make any cartridge obsolete. But if you take a 6.5 284, custom chamber, custom twist rate, custom hand load, you get the same performance as a 6.5 PRC, but you can just get factory 6.5 PRC ammo that gets that performance.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at 6.5 284 ammo that's made to the SAMI spec, it's a glorified 6.5 Creedmoor.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no benefit from velocity or anything. So to get those advantages of what it used to take as a custom rifle and custom hand load, you get the 6.5 PRC. It's done.
Yeah, you're done. Go buy box ammo. This one's got a little bit longer barrel, so this one will flat get after it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to.
Yep. So let's talk about the build. Now, this is where things start off, honestly, a little different, because most of the builds that we've had on our show, they start off with I bought this individual action, and it's, fill in the blank, impact, Zermatt, Stiller, et cetera, et cetera. This one kind of started off a little different. So let's walk through the heart of this build and what's the action and how did that all come together, because you probably have to tie in some other components to the action.
Yeah, so this one was fun because this is a Fierce titanium action with their Fierce carbon fiber stock from John Mogul, and I talked to him at the show, and I told him, and it's a short action. It is a true short action rifle system. So I talked to John. I'm like, man, I really want to put together a 6.5 PRC on a short action. So we were chatting through this stuff, and we got some, he helped me with some measurements and this and that. And all I had to do, I'd take this mag apart a little bit, put a little Joe modification on it. But I had to mill this mag a little bit to just fit the rounds in here. But now I have a true short action 6.5 PRC, which even cut a little bit more weight, bolt stroke, all that stuff. Yep. So that's where it started. I got a hold of him. Him and I were chatting, and it was literally like one of the very first 6.5 PRCs on, his 3-lug, titanium system that was ever built.
So you've got titanium action right there. The benefits of titanium is it's light. That is a big one. Now, you said 3-lug, so you've got that nice short bolt throw.
Yep.
That's handy. That's one of those things that if you were really looking into fine details, that's a really fine detail. But you know what? It makes a small difference. And
if you've ever pinched your finger right here between the bolt and the scope,
objective lens,
3-lug makes you be like, oh, I have way more clearance for my fat fingers.
Yeah, especially when it's cold.
Gloves, exactly.
There's nothing worse than taking a 20-degree thumb and hitting metal with
smashing it. So anyway, I do like that for hunting because it's quick and fast.
Right. So you've got titanium action, the 3-lug, lot to like there.
The 12th edition Hornady Handbook is here. More loads, more bullets, more data than ever. Covering today's most advanced cartridges, new bullets, and providing deep insights into the loading process. Available in hardback, in the Hornady Reloading app, and on Kindle.
What are you running for a trigger? Because that's one of the questions I had while you were out of the room. I dry fired it. Nice trigger.
Yeah, it's
what is that?
That's their trigger.
Okay, so
that trigger was in there. Now, did I polish a little bit and tune it? Absolutely, because I'm a trigger aficionado.
Yeah,
I really know
what habits die hard.
Whatever it is, I just know what I like. So that's their trigger, but I tuned it a little bit. But I really like that trigger. I think it's a pretty good trigger, especially for a hunting trigger.
Right. So one of the questions I have with that action, is this a 2 or 3 position safety?
3-position safety.
Oh, see, so that's the little stuff.
But then it's 2. Sorry, it's 2-position, but it has this little knob here that is your bolt release. So you can have the safety on, release your bolt with the little lever in front of it, and then pull the bolt out.
Okay. So it doesn't lock the bolt when it's on safety. Your bolt's not locked.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is. See, that to me in the fine details of like, man, when you can lock your bolt, when your bolt's closed and now you can't lift it.
When you got your pack on in a scabbard, whatever you're doing, right? I mean, yeah.
Yep.
So no, it's really nice.
Yeah, that right there, I figured it was going to be that way with the 3-lug action and that trigger that you might be able to get away with, be able to lock that bolt. And you can tell, just to give a shout out to Fierce Firearms, you can tell that they're real hunters because it's
100%.
something like that just makes sense.
Yes.
I think anybody who's hunted on foot, and most people who haven't, have dumped a round out of the chamber.
You go back to grab it, and your bolt's hanging open, and the round's out of the chamber if you had
Yep.
one in there. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yep, big fan of that. So we got the action. We went with titanium. Love that. A true short action. Got their trigger. Gave it the fit and finish that Joe Thielen approves of. 3-lug with the lockable bolt. Love everything about it. We're going to go now to the barrel.
Mhm.
And this is something I'm really excited about. So talk to us about the barrel and what you went with.
So we have some really good friends up in Montana at Proof, and I had this barrel from Greg Hamilton there already. So
Okay.
that's why it is. If I had to do this all over again, having what I have now and the
Yeah.
suppressors, everything, it probably wouldn't look like this. But at the time, I had this barrel, 6.5 PRC, uses speed. So this barrel is like 25 inches long, and then plus your Vias brake on the end. Do I mind it? Absolutely not.
No.
I carry a little pair of foamies in my.
Yeah, I got the
Hornady.
stock pack. You pull it
Yeah.
open.
I got little foamies in there. Do I prefer to hunt with can? Absolutely. But the components that I had at the time that I wanted to put together, that I already had bought, is this stuff. So I put it together. But it's a really good carbon wrapped Proof barrel, 8-twist,
Perfect.
standard, 6.5 bore and groove. It shoots really well.
And that's also an important note that you just, kind of casually mentioned that it's 1 and 8 twist. There is no bullet that Hornady makes in 6.5 that would require anything faster than a 1 and 8 twist.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no real benefit to the 7.5 or the 7.
Yes, please don't do that. Don't do it.
And when you're looking at ballistics, if you look at a ridiculously long bullet for caliber, then there may be a very slight drag advantage to spinning it a little faster. So a little bit more rigid spin axis can help raise your BC effectively. But the bullet has to be ridiculously long for caliber. We've only seen that actually work, like the 187 millimeter.
Yep.
I think the 250
250
A-tip.
There's a couple of those.
Small handful, but in
Yes.
6.5, the 153 A-tip, 147, you're getting really no appreciable gain in drag with that faster twist. And then you're running into higher RPM, and you're going to exacerbate any imperfections in any of the bullets that you shoot just by way of spinning it faster.
And then torque on the system when you got these really, really lightweight guns. I mean,
Yeah.
your gun wants to move, and you can't see as good if the gun is moving. So.
That's right. So 8 twist, standard bore and groove. Proof, obviously, they do a wonderful job with carbon wrapped, and they do a wonderful job just making a barrel in general. They're cut rifled, which, there are some really good button pulled barrels out there. Benchmark and a handful of others. Some factory rifles that we've had that all shoot well.
Yep.
But man, if you were going to bet your money on a barrel that's going to shoot, I'd probably bet on a cut barrel first.
Day in, day out, it's
Yeah.
just a great way to manufacture a barrel. Absolutely.
Yep. So you went with a little bit longer. You said it's going to finish out right about 25 inches.
Yep.
Talk about the muzzle brake, because at the time, this is why I asked you what year you built it, because there's some things that just were common of the time, and I think that muzzle brake is one of them.
The old Vias muzzle brake. Yep, very common. It was obviously oversized, and you turn them down to match. And I have old guns from 2007, 8. They have Vias. They're a very efficient brake, and I that's what I had. Right, I had pieces and parts already there, and obviously I wanted this gun to have very little recoil, being as light as it was. So it only made sense to put an efficient brake on the end.
Now, I'm not sure you can still buy a Vias muzzle brake. I'm not sure what year.
I've been unsuccessful since about 2019 or 2020. You can't.
So this might have been the last Vias branded Vias muzzle brake. Now, for the listener, the viewer can see it, of course, but for the listener, the Vias muzzle brakes were unique. They were about 1.5 to 1.75 inches long, and they had like 3 or 4 rows of holes, and the holes were, what are they, 150 thou in diameter?
Yeah, probably.
And so it's radially ported, if you will, but they also vent through the front of the brake.
Yeah, there's little, probably, I'm going to tell you, those are 62.5, maybe 70, 80 thousandths holes, going the long axis of your barrel back through all the radial holes. So yes.
Do you feel like that helps with, maybe making them less loud or less side port ejection? Or does it lower the recoil? What does that do?
The only thing that I think it does, I think all your efficiency of your brake comes from obviously the radial holes. But I think those holes that allow some of that blast, if you will, or sound, pressure to get away from you is better for
the shooter.
The shooter, concussion, sound stuff. Yes, I do.
Yep. And even if it's not actually lowering decibels, it lowers the impact of the sound.
Yes.
That's huge.
Yep.
And those Vias muzzle brakes, again, coming up in the industry for me, you see a precision hunting rifle, it probably had a radially ported brake.
That's exactly what
Magna porting was cool way back in the day, but then you had like Vias brakes. Shrewd made a brake that was very similar. There's a few others out there. Just, again, a sign of the times.
Yeah, shows my age, doesn't it?
Well, a little bit. But no, when you go back to 2017, talk about hunting with a suppressor. In 2017, your suppressor probably weighed 13 ounces.
At least.
Yeah, 13 to 15 ounces.
Yep.
The days of, ultralight backcountry kind of type suppressors, they weren't here yet. Now, you had Thunder Beast. They had some really good lightweight stuff kind of around that time frame. But, now we've got so many companies. Airlock, for example. Airlock Industries, they make ridiculously light suppressors that are whisper quiet.
Yeah, that technology has just developed. That's why I said, knowing hindsight's always 20/20, right? But
yeah, well, you did nothing wrong because at the time, this is what people were doing for precision hunting instruments. And this one certainly looks the part. Like I said, those muzzle brakes, they just look cool and they're effective. And you mentioned it. You got an 8.5-pound rifle with a 143 doing all the speed. You got to bring that recoil down, especially if you're going to spot your shots with it.
Yep, especially as fast as that bullet gets there.
Yeah, right. So titanium action from Fierce. We've got their trigger that you've tuned up and it breaks nice and clean. Beautiful 3-lug action. Proof research, carbon fiber barrel. We're finished at 25 inches. We've got the Vias muzzle brake.
Hornady Security Mobilus Safes. Discover the ultimate solution for safeguarding your valuable equipment with Hornady Security Mobilus Safes. Offering an innovative modular design, Mobilus safes can be easily transported and assembled piece by piece in any room. Featuring a full square lock interior organizing system that maximizes storage space with countless storage configurations. Elevate your security with Mobilus safes from Hornady Security.
Let's talk a little bit now about the stock.
So I didn't know how much you shouldered it before we started, but I really like John's, what they did with those stocks. Again, as you mentioned earlier, they're users of their products and hunters. The palm swell, the way it fits.
It does.
It sits in there really nice for me.
Good.
I like it because it's not bulky. So this stock is thin. You can put it in a scabbard. You can throw it in a pack. You can do whatever you want. I really like that. And then I have had this gun. This gun has been on, and you can see some scuffs on it. But anyway, it's been on mule deer hunts. And a really unique story that happened is a buddy of mine in Wyoming drew a sheep tag.
Oh.
And the only thing he had was this 300 Win Mag that he'd had forever. And it's a lighter weight 300, quote unquote, lighter weight 300 Win Mag, but it kicked really bad in a break. And it shot okay with, Precision Hunter.
You get your what will likely be once in a lifetime tag.
Yes. Well, this second time he's got it.
Oh,
and I'm like,
we're not friends.
Exactly what I told him. I was like, all right, time out. I'm going to bring you a rifle. So fish tournament out there and he fished or whatever. I brought him this gun with a box of ammo, the 4.5, the whole 9 yards, right? And he killed a sheep with this gun.
Oh, that's cool.
Is super cool.
Yep. That's a piece of history. You look through the scope. Those crosshairs were once settled on the shoulder of a bighorn sheep, which is such an iconic animal of the West and such an aspirational animal. That is my dream hunt since I've been a kid, and I'll likely never get the chance to do it, as will most just never get the
100%,
chance. So
yeah.
That's just fantastic. Good for him. That's a cool story on the rifle. And like you said, with the stock configuration, it's comfortable. You can hand it to anybody, and it just feels natural.
Yeah, It was wild. He called me, and he's like, I'm hitting the middle of the target at like 500 or 600 yards or 5, whatever their range was. And I'm like, yes.
Go on.
But he was like, he was surprised, right?
Yeah.
Like, man, I can actually do this. I'm like, yes, when you have the right tools and everything is there, yes, you can do it. So anyway, that's been super fun piece. I know it's a little side caveat, but
No,
you know,
that's-
a thing that this rifle has done for another guy, right? Fellow hunter.
Yep, that's awesome. That's people taking care of people. So beautiful stock, like you said. Ergonomically, they did a wonderful job. They
And
really laid it out.
super light.
Yeah,
I don't know what this stock weighs. I've never had it apart and weighed it individually. I just know it's like picking
Nothing.
up air. It
Yeah.
is so light.
well, you think about the scope. I know the scope's going to be in that 30-ounce range, 28-ounce range,
It's like 28.7, I think they are.
and then the action, the barrel, like that stock doesn't weigh almost anything.
It doesn't, but it's rigid, Seth.
Yeah.
It really is a very stiff, and I'm a proponent of that. Like, I want a stock. If I'm going to attach my action to it, I want the stock to be rigid.
Yep, makes it easy. You don't have to question it.
Exactly.
All right, so now up on top, classic pick rail rings scope. What are we running optic wise?
NX8, Night Force NX8.
I think it's Night Force everything. Rail, rings, optic.
Yeah, the rail is theirs.
Oh,
Rail's Fierce's because that's to fit on there. To fit on this action, it's theirs with and it's aluminum. 20 minutes into base.
Yeah.
So pretty standard stuff there. And then a F1 NX8 F1 with mil.
Yep.
Mil C reticle. Same exact scope that I would use. Well, same exact turrets
set.
feature
Yeah.
that I would use on my AT-ACRs for match shooting, just to try to keep everything exactly the
Yeah,
same.
doesn't matter what gun you grab out of your safe.
They
The
look
controls are the
Yes.
same. Your reticles are real similar.
Yep.
That makes a lot of sense. And this scope, for what it is, I mean, what is this one? You said the 2.5. Oh, 2.5 to 20.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, 20 power. That's why it's clear down on what 4 or 5 power.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
but
where
it really is a great hunting scope. Shout out to my dad, Joe Swerczek. He has this exact optic on
Okay.
an 18-inch 6GT little hunting rifle. Thing weighs scoped out. Yeah, same thing, weighs 7 pounds
Yeah.
and change.
they're compact, they're handy, they're
Yeah,
good
short.
glass. So yeah, short. Yep.
Great turret. Simple controls. They always work. I think they include the Tenebro scope caps, do they?
They
not?
do. Yep.
Yeah, that's a
Yep.
that's a little nice.
A little touch. Yeah.
Yeah, because these scope caps are pretty darn indestructible compared to the old school. What was the brand?
Butler Creek.
Butler Creek. Yeah.
Yep.
Which I haven't.
Which I still have some of those, but yes, they're not quite as good as these.
I was going through my toy room, I guess you'd call it, putting gear away after a hunt here just earlier this week, a couple days ago. So I'm putting stuff away, and I have this drawer from this old 3-drawer organizer thing, and I open one of the drawers up, and there's just stacks of the Butler Creek flip caps in there that I've had over the years. But yeah, the Tenebro covers are a nice touch because you got good glass. They're not cheap scopes. Put them in there.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
obviously inclement weather.
Yeah.
I mean, you keep those babies down until you're ready, until it's go time.
Awesome. So let's talk auxiliary equipment now.
Okay.
Starting from the back, the Hornady stock pack.
I love those butt pads, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call them, the Hornady. I like them because, number one, they give me a really nice, comfortable cheek weld.
Yeah.
They bring it up a little higher, and especially if I'm not the one shooting, let's say Christina's shooting or Chloe or whatever,
Yeah.
it really helps them with it. And, Seth, I love that I can put 5 rounds of ammo in there. I could put some ammo inside. I can put foamies inside there.
Yeah.
I could put a phone in there.
Drop card.
Drop dope card, whatever.
Yeah.
I love having that little extra flexibility. I just think those are really, on a hunting gun, I'm not going to tell you they're a necessity, but man, they're about a necessity for all the equipment that I have from a
Yeah.
hunting standpoint.
I'd have to second that. Now, historically, me personally, I don't have these on any of my hunting rifles that I'm the one that uses. However, just like you mentioned, I host media hunts for a living. So a lot of my personal firearms get used by media guests and so
Sure.
on. You can hand a rifle with a stock pack to anybody, and if they've ever shot a gun, they can start on their chin and work their way down until they get just the right cheek weld. And if you set your gun up for you, that's great. But something like this just adds flexibility.
Yeah.
The extra rounds can be a lifesaver.
Absolutely.
Dope cards, cell phone, hand warmers. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Snacks. You could, yeah.
Oh.
Yep, you're laying on the gun, wait for the animal to stand up. You don't want to be laying down there bored. You got to get
some
get some
snacks.
Gardettos or something in there.
Oh, that's great. My kids will love that one, Seth. They'll
Yeah.
appreciate that. Hey, Dad, let's put some snacks in the gun here.
Yep. I did that for Brock. He didn't end up actually eating it on his first deer hunt this year, but I did put a honey bun in there.
Did you really?
Yeah, it didn't want to fit, but I made it fit. Yeah, just in
Nice.
case.
I'll have to remember that. I have not done that yet, but that's a good little tidbit of information there.
Yep, great stuff. So we got the stock pack. Jumping up front, that's a big old bipod, Joe.
That's Seth. I've had that bipod for years and years, and I don't know, man. I like it's 12 to 24 Harris. It's got the click out. I understand it's not as, I want to say, modular as some of the stuff we have now, but it is lightweight. And I can take a prone shot, but I can take those and pop them out and get above any like sagebrush or something if I got to shoot like sitting off a pack.
Yep.
And that bipod has been literally on, I can't describe to you how many hunts, and I like it. It works, and it's something proven, and I use it.
Yep. I have to agree. You know, I'm guilty of having a lot of bipods, just like tripods. I have more tripods than bipods. But anyway, what I like about this is, you know, you Wyoming native, but that you've hunted, you know, Wyoming and Colorado and Nebraska and all these western places out there. And in my experience in hunting those places, very rarely do I get a true, what I would call low prone shot.
100%.
I've taken them, and I love it.
100%.
I take a minute, I say a prayer and thank the Lord. And
yes.
yeah, Saturn was blocking Jupiter, and I could lay
because they
down.
don't happen very often.
They don't.
Nope.
Generally, it happens to be what I would call high prone, where the bipod is extended way out. Yep. You're kind of on your elbows versus on your chest.
Or a pack underneath there,
Yep.
whatever. Yep.
You got to get your chest up, get your head up, and they're really stable. Now, if you were shooting a 10-round string, it probably wouldn't be that good. But to get a really accurate shot off of, high prone is great, and you're not going to get that with a 6-inch tall bipod.
Nope.
It's got to be more.
Even 6 to 9. You can't get them on the 9s. You
Right.
can't get tall enough. So.
Yep. So the 12 to 27, one of the staples in the Thielen household, because we've seen this on several guns.
Yes.
Love that.
Experience precision reloading like never before with the Hornady Lock and Load Classic Pro. The Classic Pro features precision machined surfaces that deliver tight tolerances, consistent performance, and a smoother feel. With an integrated lock and load die caddy, the Classic Pro keeps dies and tools within reach. Whether you're a competitive shooter or a reloading hobbyist, choose the convenience, accuracy, and durability you demand with the Lock and Load Classic Pro from Hornady.
Running the old classic Hornady sling.
I like these slings. They're comfortable. This rubber
Neoprene.
grip material, neoprene, helps hold it on like a pack strap, or stuff gets a little wet on your jacket or whatever. Don't fix what's not broken, right? And it works great, so it's comfortable.
Yep.
This one you can see has got some miles on it.
The little things, you know, talking about slings, the rubber or neoprene or whatever that is that makes it sticky. I have a sling. It's the Magpul RLS. Uber simple sling. And that's one of the reasons I love it. Super simple. QD flush cups on it, and you can loop it and shoot with it.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
great. Well, it does not have any rubber or neoprene on it.
Okay.
And so the rifle will just want to muzzle. If your muzzle's heavy, it'll
Just
want
start
to slide
sliding.
down. And you fight it, and you fight it, and you fight it. And I've got another sling. I forget the brand. Doesn't have the loop, so you can't use it for that, which is fine. But it's got some rubber on it, and it stays put.
Yeah,
You
it
don't
just
have
kind
to
of
fight
holds
it.
them in place. So yeah, we have quite a few of these on different guns, and I like them.
Yep, simple stuff. Now, one thing we kind of glossed over, and I failed to mention it. You briefly talked about it, but let's talk about the bottom metal, because that come also from Fierce.
Yep. So that's their bottom metal with detachable, and I wanted a detachable box in this one. I have a lot of hinged floor plate guns, which I like, but I really like a detachable magazine personally. You take the mag, it's safe, especially with my wife and kids and everybody hunting. I can take a mag out and open the bolt, and I know that gun is completely safe.
Yeah, and you can see it from a ways away.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So this is a box, but short action. So I had to obviously open this baby up and mill it a little bit.
Like you did an okay job.
Well, I think Whitey helped me with that.
Oh.
So that would or I consulted Mr.
Yeah.
Mike Jensen on that of how he would do this,
Man, he is a wizard.
because he's a wizard at that kind of stuff. So the front and back have a little bit milled off. And it was literally, I want to tell you, I'm going to say 50 thousandths total or something like that,
Okay,
because John
very
gave
minimal.
me the very minimal. Doesn't hurt the integrity or anything in the box. But-
Beautiful. And what that I love about this bottom metal,
Yep.
it is flush.
Yep.
Now, we run a lot of Hawkins Precision bottom metal, and they have their flush fit mags. This is just, man, that is not snagging that on anything.
That's why I ran hinge floor plates, right? Because they're almost flush. And
Yep.
I just think that doesn't get hung up on anything, snag anything.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Awesome. Joe, this is a beautiful gun. Now, we talked through the whole thing, the action, titanium, 3-lug. You lock that bolt shut. We got the good trigger. You tuned that up. Ultra lightweight stock, the bottom metal, long barrel with the Vias brake, the Bipod, beautiful optic. This is a precision instrument for sure in every aspect of it. Now, we talked about running 143s real fast. So let's talk about
what it does.
What this thing does. Yeah.
Yep. So factory ammo is about $3,000.
Oh, wow.
Which is a little faster than the box because the barrel's obviously a little longer. Maybe $29.80, $29.90. I load mine, so I don't want quite all that speed, and they shoot a little bit better for whatever reason, barrel, chamber, whatever.
Yeah.
So I load mine. Factory ammo shoots just fine, right? But if I have time, I will load, and I forget my load set. I want to tell you it's some odd grains of
I think I know what it is.
H1000, but I don't remember the charge weight. And those rounds are running like $29.50.
Perfect.
They're not super fast, but they're like factory.
Well, that's still moving.
I mean, it's moving, but factory, I mean, people might be like, well, it's not very fast, but hey, it's fast enough for everything. As far as I'm going to shoot something, that's plenty fast, and that bullet will work really, really good at those speeds. So that's what I do. The gun shoots pretty good. I've shot it a fair amount at distance and on paper. I would tell you it's a legitimate, half to minute gun.
Yeah.
Day in, day out.
Which you start pounding shots into a group and you start aggregating groups, and it's an honest half to 1 minute, 3/4 minute, let's call it gun. That's real accuracy.
Yeah. Have I shot less than half minute with it? Absolutely. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you it does that with groups all the time.
Your groups are too small.
Yeah.
We should make a podcast about it.
We should. But anyway, for a hunting rifle, it shoots extremely, extremely well.
Yeah, I like it. All right, so that's the rifle, that's the build, that's the why, that's what it's doing. Let's get into some story time, Joe, because your friend killed a bighorn sheep, and I don't even know why you call him a friend since he's had 2 tags. Let's talk about your first hunt with this rifle.
Yep, so I drew an eastern Colorado mule deer hunt, and I was pretty stoked about it. And if anyone has ever hunted the plains in eastern Colorado, 400 yards don't get you very far.
No, it doesn't. But eastern plains of Colorado, home of giant mule deer.
Some big deer there.
People think, I got to get up in the mountains. Yeah, you do. And then you go out east into the plains and you'll find some big ones there.
Some big deer. So I had a tag out there, and I hunted literally the whole season. Because I love hunting, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm looking for something unique or special or cool, and I ended up finding that. I passed. I want to say it was day 2, Seth. I passed on. I don't know. Had to be a 30 inch. I mean, he's 30 inches wide. He's big, but he's a little bit thin.
Okay. Just a young
boxy 4x4, but looked. I mean, the quintessential come out straight up box frame.
You're a stronger man than I, Joe.
And he was. I mean, he's a cool buck, right? But it's day 2, and I'm like, oh darn! I mean, that's a cool.
He was missing mass.
I just want to hunt some more, too.
Yeah, okay.
So hunted so it was the last weekend of the season. The season closes on a Sunday that year. And I was hunting on Saturday, I think it was. Saturday evening. And I found this buck he's not super wide, but he's heavy. And on his right side, he's crowned on his brow tine. He's hanging in my office. He's crowned on my brow tine, and he's crowned on every point that he had. So he's got like 9 points on that one side.
It's my kids call them turkey feet. I have a deer, the mule deer I killed on that. Yeah, they're like 3 points. Yeah.
And I just think it's super cool, right? Like I saw that buck and I was like, that's a unique deer. I've not seen one like mass.
Chocolate colored horns.
Yep.
Plus the crowns.
So I wanted to hunt that deer. Well, anyway, that deer made me when we got out and I come up, you know how this giant, they say canyons. They're like these cuts, if you will. And this deer was down in some brush in these cuts, and I didn't see him. He's like 600 yards away. And he made me. And obviously, he's an older deer, so he up and over the hill. And I was like, crap.
Probably better go get that one.
I want to go find that buck. So I chased that buck all afternoon, and I found him in, I forget how many, it was a couple miles, I believe.
Ugh.
As the crow, a couple miles as the crow flies, but I had walked, looking and glassing. Found him in the evening time in this big giant draw. And I was on one side of the draw / canyon, if you will, and he's on the opposite side and down from me. And the canyon is 400 yards from side to side.
Right.
And there is no crossing there's just not. There is no, he will see you. There's no crossing the canyon. So I remember I'm like, I got pretty good confidence in my system. So I'm like, the sun had went, so I wasn't fighting, sun on my face or whatever. And there was a little group of does. They were not spooked. So I just snuck through the big, grease, yucca plants there, and literally finally found that prone shot because I looked for it. So he was 650 yards away, 628 yards away. So I found a spot where I could crawl out on the edge.
Yep.
Then I'm looking down across the big thing, and there wasn't hardly any wind. I think I held like 2/10.
Oh, wow.
So it
that
wasn't
doesn't happen often.
No, not in Colorado. But it was evening, and everything had calmed down. It was just the perfect. And I was like, yeah, I can kill this deer 1,000 times out of 1,000 times, right? So, and I took that buck that evening, and it was just super cool.
Oh, beautiful. Yep, that is a wonderful buck. I see it every time I'm in your office. Preston sat underneath it here a little over an hour ago now. And that's just a great story that ties to a great rifle build. We're talking miles that you're traversing with this rifle, and that's exactly why you built it. Ultralight, ultra capable.
Absolutely.
And it delivered in every aspect, Joe.
Yep.
Well, is there anything else about this 6.5 PRC or any other stories that you want to leave us with?
No, there's other stuff, but that pretty much sums up this rifle. I love doing these, Seth, and I would leave it with your listeners and customers and everything that obviously I have I've talked about on your podcast, tons of tools in the toolbox.
Yep.
Guns in my safe that I built over the years for different things. And if people want to hear about those, man, drop them in the comments. I built the guns for like my girls starting out hunting, and then now they hunt, or just your quintessential, workhorse steel barrel fluted hunting rifle, been around the world, kind of whatever. I mean, just if people have questions or whatever, yeah, I'm here to help, right?
In that vein, Joe, with that said, listeners, please, comment if you want to see more of Joe's custom rifles, because when you're, one, you know what you want, two, capable of producing that, and then three, also a good machinist, and you can do things like modify the magazine, chamber your own barrels, thread your muzzles, etc. You can build some really cool tools. So, listener, if you want to see those, let us know. We'll get those coming. I have a personal question, though.
Sure.
Do you still have the cartridge that you took, the rifle, excuse me, I'll try to leave it super ambiguous, the rifle that you took to your first Africa trip when the ELDX was launched?
Yep.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get that one on the show. Yep.
Sure do.
Awesome. Well, Joe, I got nothing else for you. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for bringing the rifle out. While you've got it out, blow the dust out of this thing. You should probably lay down and shoot it sometime.
I should, but I'm waiting until I will, but I want to have a tag in my pocket when I
Fair
clean
enough.
this babe. Hopefully we draw something this year. I know you're the same way, but now's application time, right? I mean, put in.
Miles.
I hope
Miles DeVille. Put in for tags.
it is. Now is the time. So I'm going to try to, hopefully me or the girls or somebody will draw, because I really want to do some more, hunting we really didn't get to last fall. So,
Well, hopefully the odds are in your favor. I wish you the best of luck, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Seth.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning into this episode all about Joe's ultralight, ultra-long 6.5 PRC. He built this rifle to be his backcountry mountain hunting, plains hunting rifle that was ultralight and ultra capable, and he definitely succeeded with that one. We appreciate you listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.